and gentlemen. I started the music a little too late, but it's all good. I like that song, and I like sitting there listening to it. But you are watching Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour. I'm waiting for everything to switch over. Is it going on? This is the fun part about being on live. There we go. Now I see myself. I am super excited about tonight's special guest, everybody. This is Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour. I'm Jeremy with Lifted Adventures. And yes, I'm super excited about tonight's guest. This is the live streamed podcast. This is all live, where I, Jeremy, have on people from the mountain bike industry of influence, YouTubers, pros, whatever, and we just sit and have a seriously not serious mountain biking, cycling fun time. But you guys run the show. That's right. The way I run this is you guys run the show by asking as many questions you can. I will cut myself off if I'm just talking, but I will obviously not cut off the person I have on. I will ask your questions, and basically you guys run it. So that's how it is. And all y'all probably already know my special guest, the new 100,000 subscriber count, the one, the only, Mr. Clint Gibbs. Thank you, Clint, so much for coming on to Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour. We've already got 12 people on, so guys, get some questions out there so I don't have to do all the work. But how you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on, and thanks
That's
for
awesome.
that introduction.
Oh,
I'm
no
humbled.
problem. No problem. Yeah, so you recently just hit 100,000 subscribers, and you might not want me to tell everybody, but you have a package you got in the mail
Oh
today.
yeah,
See
I
if
was
you can
actually
say.
hoping to put it on the wall before I literally got home from work a couple hours ago, and it was here.
Yeah,
So yeah,
there it
here it
is.
is.
There it is. Super cool. That's so cool. And it's not as heavy as it looks, is it?
Nah,
Yeah.
maybe a pound or so.
There was a guy who I saw on YouTube he cut his gold one in half. He hit 1 million and cut his gold one straight in half for views. I probably wouldn't do that, but whatever.
No.
So starting off, tell me about Clint Gibbs' YouTube channel. What is your? And I'm seeing I already have ads popping up. That's weird. What is Clint Gibbs about?
So the thing about my channel is it's pretty varied. Like,
Mm-hmm.
some people it's mainly like riding footage. Some people, you know, bike maintenance or whatever. I kind of like to have a mix.
Yeah, you do a lot of
So
different stuff.
yeah, so I love the bike maintenance stuff. I love. I used to be a school teacher,
Uh-huh.
and probably that's probably the most rewarding job I've ever had. So I love like teaching and helping people. So I love the bike maintenance stuff. At this point, I've done so many bike maintenance videos. I kind of like ask myself, what else is there to do? So I like the bike maintenance stuff. I like doing riding videos. Uh, One of the reasons is I get to relive my rides, but also they're easier to edit. You just kind of put together
Yeah.
all your riding footage.
Yeah.
And then, uh, I like product reviews. So,
Yeah.
but I would say the most popular videos that I make are bike reviews. And, the thing cool about mountain biking is it's such a tech sport. And I'm a tech guy. I love just technical stuff.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people out there are like that. And, as we all know, the mountain bike industry has seen so much change in the last 5 years that we're all curious about what's next and what's out there and how it works. So I like the bike review stuff. And like I said, that's probably my most popular style of videos.
Yeah.
And so they're also the most fun to do because I've always been curious about, how bikes compare to each other, what a new bike coming out rides like and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a lot of variety.
Yeah, I've noticed that you do like I've seen several headphone reviews and
Yeah.
just stuff that's not even cycling oriented, but
Yeah.
I
Every
kind of
once in a while I'll throw in like a headphone or like a tech that's not cycling. It's very rare.
yeah.
In fact, It's usually like a Jaybird product.
Yep.
I'm going to do one. This company sent me some that are not really cycling headphones that I'll probably review. But most, like I would say 99% of my videos are all cycling related.
Yeah. Yeah. But that kind of sets you apart. You're not afraid to talk about other things. It's kind of real. And we've gotten our first questions coming in. I already told you before we started. Dawson's going to be talked about, and Dawson is he still sitting off to the side?
I'll text him. He's downstairs.
Oh, he's downstairs. Okay, he was off to the side. I'll blunt force. I will wait till Dawson gets back up, and we can ask him personally. So the second question is, what's a good bike for my wife? She is short and would like a 27.5 bike, full suspension for a reasonable price. We get a lot of these kind of questions on here, so I mean it's understandable. There's a lot of new people starting off. What bike would you suggest for his wife on that?
The first question is, where are you going to ride? Is she going to ride on trails? Is she going to ride like around the neighborhood? Is she going to ride gravel roads? Is she going to do everything? If he could let me know that, then that would help me hone it in a little bit.
It's kind of hard to know exactly without all that stuff. So, Aaron's saying hi. He's from New Zealand. 1 p.m.
What's up?
Tuesday there. That is
nice.
Wow, that's insane. It's so crazy. My brother-in-law, where did he go? He went overseas, and then when he came, he left on a Thursday. He left there to come back here on a Thursday, and when he got here, it was the day before, or something like that. It was just a mind trip of timing stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Dawson's here. If
there's
someone
Dawson.
wants to ask you a question, the first question was for you. Tell me the question. I'll tell him, and he'll sit here and answer it.
How's Dawson's arm?
Okay.
That's it was impressive to see him be more worried about cutting the ride short than his injury. You got a good boy there. Yeah, that's I told you
awesome.
People would be asking. Dawson's personality is you've raised him good, man. That's an awesome kid there. He wants to know how Dawson's arm is.
Okay, so they want to know how your arm is. You want to sit here and tell here? Yeah, come here.
Awesome.
I'm going to try to not move around in this chair too much because it's creaking like crazy. I should have put some WD-40 on it. All right, so here, how's your arm?
My arm is doing better. It's still weak. It's the tendons and all the stuff that connects the hand bones are tight, and it's weak. You can visibly see the difference in the muscle right here versus right here.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's doing a lot better. I'm off the brace, and so now it's just about slowly using it more and more until I can ride again.
Did you pretty much know it was broken? You were more, like the guy said first, you were more concerned about cutting the ride short and stopping everybody else from riding than you were about your own stinking broken wrist.
Yeah, I'm usually okay. I usually can roll out of it and come back up, but I just always check myself before I get riding again, and just something told me that my arm, it did not look right. It was it was all out of alignment. So
now, was that your first break you've ever done, or?
Yeah,
Ugh.
It was. But it's a pretty good run considering I've been mountain biking since I was little. So
doing some crazy stuff, and that's not a bad one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you're already getting another question, Dawson. I apologize to your father because they're already asking more and more questions. And I told you, Clint, they're gonna talk about Dawson more than they're gonna talk about your actual Clint Gibbs himself. So, Dawson, are you taller than your father at this point?
I am. I'm just about 6 foot, almost 6 foot tall.
Okay.
And he's about 5 foot.
5'8".
5'5", right?
5'8".
Now, Dad, can you hear me, Dad?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Does that make you proud, or is that kind of worrisome to you?
I'm so proud of this boy.
Okay.
The further he goes, I want him to just go. So whether it's height or whether it's riding skill, whatever.
That has got to be like all my kids are. I have a 9-year-old and 2 5-year-old twin girls, and they all ride their bikes now. And I took my 9-year-old out mountain biking for the first time, and I've never been more proud of my daughter than
Yeah.
watching her ride in front of me and then fall off stuff and really hurt herself, cry, and then get back on her bike and do it again and complete what she fell off of. It's got to be, I mean, Dawson, you do some crazy stuff. So I can't imagine seeing one of my kids, do some nasty stuff that you do on those jumps and everything, and me be okay with it. I want to say I would be okay with it, but that's awesome, dude. That's totally cool.
Thanks.
No
Well,
problem.
I always talk it through with my dad.
Yeah.
He knows that I'm very calculated, and what I do, I'm not, I don't just huck stuff, as people say.
Yeah.
I really like to calculate it. I know I'm not the smoothest rider out there yet, but
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm aiming for, is precision and smoothness, and not just how I can do, how much I can do on the first go.
Yeah, sending it blind. Well, I mean, you send a lot of stuff blind, but you're, like you said, calculated. That's actually pretty smart. That's pro thoughts right there. That's pretty awesome. And you're already getting told that they're getting told that Dawson should take over the channel. One person just said Dawson should inherit the Clint Gibbs channel. So.
Well, yeah. So here's the thing: is a lot of people have said he needs to start his own channel, which we've talked about before. But it's kind of cool, like if we kind of develop the channel together, and I can see him like, the cool thing about it is he gets to inherit at least 100,000 subscribers. So we'll talk it out.
Yeah.
But his vision of videos is a lot different than mine.
Yeah.
He's actually got a really good eye for behind the camera, and he's pretty creative in things he comes up with. So I think it's about ready for him to start his channel.
What kind of edits are you wanting to do, Dawson? If you had one.
Well, initially, just some stuff to get the ball rolling. I do write down some ideas I have in mind for future edits.
Yeah.
I'm very perfectionistic in what I do, so I have to like check off requirements of stuff I'm able to do before want to make a video, so it can be the best that I can be at that moment.
Yeah, he won't let me film a trick until he knows he's got it down.
That's cool. That's fine.
Most
people want to see the wrecks though, so
yeah.
it's okay.
Well, it's not about I don't want people to see me crash. It's just I like to know that I gave my best and I didn't rush anything.
That's awesome, dude. Don't ever lose that. That's the purest form of honest manhood. Keep that. That's totally cool. Let's see if we got another question. They're kind of picking both of you now. So both of you on your choices. If you had to pick one bike for Florida, now I know Dawson, you're really starting to move away from the XC, and Clint, you're really sticking strong in that XC. If you had to pick one bike for Florida, which is pretty much XC, with hopeful trips to North Carolina, do you prefer the Spur or the Sentinel?
Spur.
Spur.
Yeah. So I've got my first trip. I'm gonna put these back on, so I don't have to hold these. I've got my first trip to the mountains on the Spur a week from Friday.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to bring that bike in the Jet 9. But the Spur is, I would say, almost as fast as my XC bike, especially if you have a second wheel set.
Yeah.
But it is so it's just so stable. I'll really be able to report back when I get back from the mountains on that bike.
Yeah.
But the thing that most people don't realize about Florida is we've got some really good tech stuff, like at Santos, Alafaya, Carter Road, and Lakeland.
Yeah.
And so I have much more fun on like the Spur or the Niner Jet 9 or those kind of bikes, or the Giant Trance 29. I have much more fun on those bikes in Florida on those kind of trails than my XC bike. Now, is the XC bike faster? Yeah, it is, but it's just not as fun.
Yeah. I ride a full 160 millimeter front enduro bike around here. So yeah. It doesn't. It pedals down in San Velasco. You know the climbs there. It doesn't. It's not as fun, but it still is fun. It's not bad. Let's see. We're getting Uriah Chesser asks, are the Gators going to win the East this year?
Of course. Yeah, there's no doubt.
I say this thing is not seriously serious, but football can come in every now and then. So
yeah, I'll turn this out. Can you hear that?
Me?
There you go. Why is that headphone set up there?
That looks it looks amazing.
This is the Dumbo setup.
Yeah, that's the do the other one too at the same time, and they look even better.
How's that?
Welcome to Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour. This is awesome, guys. Go ahead and keep asking some awesome questions. You guys run this show, and I'm enjoying this. You guys asking the questions and getting some good stuff going on. Jerome P. He says Clint is a big XC racer. How easy is it for folks to engage in the novice class? How hardcore would the novice class be?
That's a good question. So I did the novice class way back in the day, and it's really just what you make of it. So you can just go out and say, I'm just going to ride this course with some people, and just say that I finished my race. And some people, that's kind of the way to go. I'm going to turn this. I feel like a dork with this.
You look like a dork. It's okay.
I sure do. It's what you make of it. By the time I did my first mountain bike race, I had already been road racing, and I'm glad that's over with. But so I made it real competitive, and so I pushed real hard. So it's just really what you make of it. The main thing I tell people when they do a mountain bike race is do not go out too hard. If you go out too hard, you will blow up and not have fun. Yep. You always want to tell yourself this is easier than I think it should be, because at the end it's going to feel like it's harder than you think it should be.
I experienced my first XC race last September and didn't even finish it because I went out too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to talk about it because I start crying. But let's see. Mario V, I'm super pumped, guys. You guys are asking tons of questions. Keep them coming. Are you happy with the new Stands carbon wheel set?
Oh, heck yeah. The podiums. Yeah, that's so
those are pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'll do a follow-up review on those, but they are a little bit faster than the Valors. They're not quite as compliant as the Valors. Like they feel just a tad more harsh. Like harsh is not even the right word. They're still compliant. They're just not quite as supple as the Valors, but they're like half a pound lighter, and they just feel snappier. And I can highly recommend the podiums. The only issue I've had, like the last ride or two I did, they were kind of making a noise, and I realized I think it was the spokes rubbing against each other. I don't know if it's because I had them in the air conditioning and I took them out in the humidity, and then like the first 10 minutes they were making a noise, but then they stopped. So I'll keep an eye on that. I've never had a wheel set do that, but it's just a minor annoyance. But yeah, those that's probably the fastest mountain bike wheel set I've ever
Would
made.
the quick temperature change affect the truing of the wheel?
Well, the only thing is, maybe I think there's how like when you get on a new set of wheels, you can hear the spokes popping a little bit. It was almost like that.
Kind of setting in.
But yeah, it was almost like the spokes were rubbing against each other. So I don't know if like, there was like moisture that made them make a noise. I don't know. I've never had that happen before. But the spokes are really thin on those. Yeah. And so they do move around a little bit, and like the wheel kind of flexes a little bit. But yeah, I love Stan's wheels, man. I mean, I'm the kind of person, once I find something that works, I just stick with it. Yeah. And Stan's are so like the hubs are easy to work on. The tires are so easy to install and take off. Like if you've watched my channel, like I've had some carbon rims, namely Giant, that like I almost had to destroy the tire to get them off the rim. It was just so annoying. Yeah. So I mean, you never worried about burping the tire, but man, they were a nightmare. But Stan's, like they go on easy and they come off easy. I don't know. I love Stan's wheels.
That's awesome. You don't see many Stan's wheels out there. at all.
You know, I would say the most popular pair of wheels by Stans is the Flow wheel set.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. Well, not cool, but interesting how the industry will gravitate. Like it used to be a few years ago, you saw so many OEM bikes coming out with the Stans Flow wheels or Stans. What's the middle one? Just can't think of the name right now. But now, like everything's DT Swiss. Like Transitions DT Swiss, Niners DT Swiss, which those are good wheels too. I've been really impressed with the DT Swiss. Like I used to say that I would only run carbon wheels, and I don't mean to sound snobby, but it's just kind of like once you ride carbon, it's hard to go away from them.
Yeah.
But the DT Swiss, like the 1900s and 1700s, those have been some of the best alloy wheels I've ever ridden. They're pretty stiff laterally.
That's awesome. That's totally cool. So where do you? I'm gonna go ahead and cut back to your YouTube channel. You just hit 100,000.
Yep.
Bye, Dawson. I guess did he leave?
He's gonna hang out on the couch.
Okay, cool. He can go take a nap. It's okay.
Did you finish your schoolwork?
Go make your bed. Go get ready. That's awesome. What was I gonna say?
100,000 subs.
Oh yeah. You just hit 100,000 subs. How long has your channel been going on?
I thought it was like 4 or 5 years, but I looked back. Some guy asked me about my first video that I put out, and it was like 8 or 9 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a while.
That's crazy. What was your first video about?
So what happened was I borrowed a buddy's 29, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I had a 26, and that was back when their 27.5 wasn't even in existence. So it was like either 26 or 29. And I was just kind of doing some time lapse to see which one was going to be faster.
Yeah.
And so I had this JVC Avario family video camera. It was like really bad video quality, but it was really compact. So I thought, hey, I'll just make a video of this and put it on YouTube. And I think that was maybe my second video. The first one was I just recorded a ride up in York, Georgia, and I put it on YouTube. And it was just like video quality was just horrible. Like it was an old GoPro and it was just bouncy.
If it was 5 or 6 years ago, it was garbage. Everybody's was garbage. And we thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Even though we were pausing the video halfway through to go puke in the toilet in the bathroom. So that's awesome. So why'd you decide to start a YouTube channel? You just thought you'd do a video and then you thought it was fun, or what?
So I really didn't like set out and say, hey, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. It's kind of like I put a video up and I was like, this is fun. Like, I got to kind of share my passion of cycling with people.
Yeah.
And that was the most motivating. I didn't even know like you could make any money at it. Like I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of one of those passion things. And like I said, I like teaching. And so I just, everything just kind of fell in order. And like, I was kind of learning, like I've done some photography in the past, but I had no video skills, and it was kind of fun to just, hey, like try to develop this new skill of video.
Yeah.
Even though I look back and just like laugh at the quality, but it was, it was a humble start. And, I don't know, just combine like technology and biking and teaching people. And then like I did the bike cleaning video, how to clean a bike in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was like that. I guess if I had to say a video went viral, that would be it. And even though like, again, I look back and the camera angles were bad. And like, I had my back to the video like a bunch of times. And so, I made a follow-up video of that to make it better. But, that was the one that like, just kind of took off, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I think I'll keep doing this. And
it's amazing how like best videos, like one of my best videos is junk, just straight terrible. When I first started the channel, just terrible editing. I think I just edited it on my phone. I don't know, but it's one of my top videos. So, but that's totally cool. Now, where do you see your channel progressing to? It's pretty much been the same thing this whole time. Do you see it progressing or do anything different?
I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Like I said earlier, I like doing the ride videos.
Yeah.
I'll probably do more of that and get Dawson, more on the channel when
Yeah.
he gets back on the bike, which is hopefully going to be pretty soon. Uh, I, you know, it's just kind of organic. It's just kind of fluid and just uh, I'm just going to keep it going in the direction of try to mix in a mixture of everything. What I might start doing is reaching out to bike companies and branching out in the type of bikes that I ride. Like I get so many questions about all different kinds of bikes, like Yeti and Ibis and all that. So I may just reach out to these companies and get demos and just maybe try to have them for a month or so. Um, if you watch my channel, you'll know that Transition and Niner are kind of like my brands now.
Yeah.
And so those are like the bikes that I like to ride personally. But
So you're not sponsored by Transition. I don't know why I thought you were sponsored by Transition.
no, I still buy the bikes. I mean, I get pretty heavy discounts, um, but I still buy them, which kind of keeps it real. Like it's those guys they like having people review bikes that aren't sponsored because it just keeps it a little bit more authentic.
Yeah.
If I don't like something, I'll say it. I don't like I'm not paid to put out any promote a bike.
Yeah.
And so it just keeps it real with Transition Niner. But I love those companies, man. I've been to both of their headquarters, and just when you walk in there, like it's just such a cool vibe. Like everybody rides. Those guys, they're just so down to earth. So it's fun. I want to support that. Like I want to support those kind of companies, and plus I just love their bikes. So
That's totally cool. So, you've been traveling a lot lately, or it seems like you've been traveling a lot lately. Is this a normal thing? Where do you normally go to? You've been doing Georgia and North Carolina a lot.
yeah. So what I do is when late spring to kind of mid fall is I try to travel every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm in Florida mainly now because I have a great job and my wife has a great job. And so we just, we're here. Uh, and so if I could like just have my way, I would take both of our jobs and move them to the mountains.
Yep.
I absolutely love the mountains, and like about every 4 to 6 weeks, I'm like, I got to get back up there.
Yep.
And so, to answer your question, Georgia is the closest. So I'm about 6 hours from the North Georgia mountains.
Yeah.
To people in Europe, that's really far. To people in the United States, that's just maybe a few days of commuting.
Yeah.
So that's the closest. And then I love North Carolina. Like I love Brevard. In fact, if I had to pick anywhere to be in the United States, it'd either be Brevard, North Carolina, or Bellingham, Washington. I love both of those places. So Brevard's about an extra hour and a half from North Georgia. So it's usually one of those two places. And then once or twice a year, I try to fly somewhere. Bellingham is becoming our spot. We were there last year, and we were supposed to go back this year.
Yeah.
And the COVID thing hit, and we didn't get to travel. But I'd like to go to Bellingham or Colorado once a year. So
Yeah, your job. I mean, you don't have it that bad. Your favorite, well, not favorite, but San Francisco is like outside your back door of your
literally,
office.
like literally.
You go and ride. San Francisco's pretty decent.
That's
I
a good
enjoy
trip.
it. I mean, you gotta climb and everything, but where do you not have to? But it's got some downs for some Florida riding. I enjoy it. But yeah, ride out your backyard and of your work and on your lunch break. That's what's up.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, San Francisco is about 7,500 acre state park.
Mm-hmm.
About probably half of that is for mountain biking, maybe a little bit less, but it's got 30 miles of mountain bike trail, a little bit more than 30 miles, and pretty good elevation change for Florida. There's a flat loop that's kind of 4 miles, but the rest of it's rolling hills.
Yep.
You can ride for an hour and get 800 to 1,000 foot elevation change if you pick the right trails.
Yeah.
And I have an access trail, so I walk out my back door, and take about 2 pedal strokes, and I'm on the access trail, and that access trail takes you right to the front of the state park. So, I mean, that's a good point. Like, like I could move to the mountains, but still have, a 30-minute drive to a trailhead.
Yeah, exactly.
So
You're riding on your lunch break. I mean,
I'm riding on my lunch break.
you,
Yeah, you can't beat it.
You can't beat that. Yeah, we got the freaking giant-sized mosquitoes and the no-see-ums and alligators and stuff that will kill you, but
yeah,
not that bad. But
no, and there's about 3 months out of the year where we have to gut it out in the weather, and that's June. Well, really July, August, September. Like those are the worst months.
It's pretty bad right now.
Yeah, but if you can get through those, you've got really good riding weather the rest of it.
I think it makes us stronger just a little bit.
Yeah, I went to Santos 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I went out in the morning and I went out too hard. I was testing a couple bikes, and holy cow, I had like mild heat stroke. And I'm pretty used to the hot weather and in pretty decent shape. And I was like 40 minutes into the ride, and I was like, I'm done. And I haven't sweated that much in a long time. And you just gotta be careful. Like even though if you're used to the heat and you get out there and you push it too hard, but because the thing is at Santos, it's a lot of those steep climbs and you have no wind on you.
Yeah.
And you're just not cooling off. And the humidity was just absolutely insane because it rained the night before. And yeah, Florida's no joke.
You're in those wooded areas and there's no breeze whatsoever in there.
No, it's brutal.
It's terrible. Let's see if we got any more questions. Octodad MTB Marty Richards is asking, what are the negatives of going to shorter cranks? He says his YT Jeffsy has 175 millimeter cranks, but are too long for his short hobbit legs and getting too many pedal strikes. So, what are the negatives of going to shorter cranks? Pedal power.
It's just torque on the pedals. Yeah. But honestly, when I jump on a bike with 170s, like I honestly don't even notice the difference.
Really?
I think it's just there's a guy. God, what is his channel? He lives in Asheville, and I can't think of his name right now. But he does a lot of analysis. He's like really analytical, and he did like a video on crank length, and I would recommend watching it. I'm gonna like look on my YouTube subscriptions while I'm talking.
Go ahead.
I just can't think of his name.
In Asheville.
Asheville, North Carolina. Yeah. He's sponsored by Niner. I'll think of it here in a minute. No, sponsored by Niner. But anyway, he did a video about crank length, and he said that there's really not much of a difference even in power output. So, Dylan Johnson.
Yeah.
Dylan Johnson. He has some really good analytical stuff. I'd recommend his channel. But yeah, I don't even think from a power standpoint you're going to notice that much of a difference. All these bikes are getting lower bottom brackets. Mm-hmm. Even the Spur has 175s. And I think it's the first transition that I've ridden and owned that has 175s versus 170s. And I would honestly put 170s on that bike.
Really?
Yeah. The only bikes that I would recommend 175s is just for a pure cross-country race bike. The bottom brackets are not that low, and you just want maybe that extra little bit of torque. But if you're not that tall, and I think that's what Dylan proved in one of his videos. It's been a while since I've watched it, but if you're not that tall, like you just don't need 175s.
Now, what about oval chain links? Chain
Man, I don't have enough experience. The thing is, I wouldn't mind trying them, but I'm rotating, like I have probably 4 or 5 bikes in my fleet at one time.
Yeah.
And if I put them on one bike, I probably want to put them on all of them.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to go down that road. I just, and like if I get used to them, like, and I get a demo of another bike that doesn't have them.
Yeah, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah. So I'll probably try them one day, but I've got like a list of topics. Like I'll be out riding and I'll just like jot down a topic of something I want to make a video. And I just got a list like this long, and
yep.
Oval chain rings just hasn't made it in the list yet.
Well, it gets asked every single time, and on that list is there e-bikes. This is the one. We get the cut in half. Let's see if anybody drops out of the viewers once I mentioned e-bikes. Nope, nobody's dropped out yet. So, e-bikes, are they still? Mario V is asking, e-bikes still on your future testing or too soon?
E-bikes. That's like that's more controversial than like who you're
Yep.
going to vote for president. Um, and we're
I
not
said
gonna
no
talk about-
politics.
No, I don't talk politics on my channel. But yeah, so I do have an e-bike coming in from Niner. I think it's going to be here in about 2 or 3 weeks. My first e-bike that I've ever owned, or not owned, but had in my fleet.
Yeah.
It's
Have
a demo.
you ridden them before?
I've ridden 2 e-bikes in my life. One was in Seattle last year when we were on vacation, and Dawson and I did the the Uber or Lime bikes, and we got on one and like rode around Seattle, like reeling it out of traffic. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then some guy at Santos let me hop on his for a little while. I mean, like 5 minutes, and so that's it. So I'm pretty much a green e-bike rider, and I made a couple videos a few weeks ago that had everything from amen to you're the spawn of Satan. So
You're gonna screw up my trails.
yeah, that was I've never had so much controversy for one video, and
Yeah.
it was just kind of me just innocently sharing my thoughts of e-bikes of what I've seen in the industry for the past few years.
They say any type of what is it? Poo. Any type of publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
So heck, talk about your e-bikes, tick some people off, and you'll end up getting more views. So it's all good.
Yeah, I'm excited about trying it. I think there are legitimate reasons for people to ride e-bikes, and I had a lot of people say that they have some kind of health condition that keeps them from enjoying mountain biking.
Exactly.
And I'm like, man, that's probably one of the coolest reasons for e-bikes. I want everybody to enjoy mountain biking.
Yeah,
And
I don't get a lot of hate for it, but I won't ride them just because I know if I buy one, knowing me, I'm going to probably if I ride one, I'm probably going to sell my bike and get an e-bike. I'm just that kind of person. I don't want to do that. But I get a lot of hate for it. I think you just need to have fun, get out there and be out in nature and enjoy it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Steady Spin is on here.
What's up, guys?
He's asking when you coming to Canoga. Have you rid there yet?
Is that the one?
That's the new
outside of
trail.
Brevard?
That's the new trail up there.
In Brevard.
Is it Brevard?
Tell me where it's at.
Kevin, ask. Is it in Brevard? Where's Canoga? I should know this. I've been looking into it.
I think it's the new one in Brevard or Asheville.
It's the one that has the huge jump on it. And he's taking his time riding back. Oh well, we'll get it here in a second. But yeah, I think that's that new. It's that new trail up there. North Carolina.
Yeah, I would say next time we're up there. In fact, I think we were supposed to check it out when we were up there, but Junior broke his wrist on the second, or fractured his wrist on our second ride together. So
I would like to see Dawson clear that behemoth of a jump. That would be.
Dawson has cleared some pretty massive stuff that like.
Well, this
really
one's supposed to be like ungodly huge.
Yeah. So a little story about Dawson. Last year in Bellingham, we were riding Galbraith Mountain, and we were riding with one of the locals. And Dawson was asking where the jump line is, and what was it? Cedar Dust. That's where Cedar Dust. And he's like, "Yeah, it's Cedar Dust." And he's like, "There's a green line, intermediate, and advanced."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh yeah, and there's a pro line, but don't ride the pro line. That's only for pros." So Dawson, he did the intermediate and advanced, and then started eyeing the pro line. And then he goes down to kind of eye it. And then he comes back, and I thought he was just going to kind of do a roll in and check it out. And next thing I know, I look up, and he's like clearing this. How far apart was that?
Golly.
40-foot gap, 30 to 40-foot gap. And that's one of those moments where I was like, okay, he's a different kind of rider than I am. So
That's insane.
yeah, but yeah, we'll check that out next
It's
time we
in
get.
Hendersonville.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah. I would say next time we're up there, which may be in the fall, maybe October.
I want to go right there. I don't want to jump it like Kevin will do, or Dawson will do. I don't. I'm terrible, horrible at jumping. I'm.
Yeah, the thing about jumping is, if you haven't grown up doing it,
Mhm.
it's like once you're like an adult, it takes some practice to really commitment to get there's like a second nature kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dawson can hit something. He started jumping when he was about 4, so it's just so natural for him. I had like this huge span of my life where we didn't have access to that kind of stuff growing up. Like when I was really into mountain biking, when I really got into it, we didn't have jump lines and like mountain bike parks and things like that. It was just cross country trails, and
Yeah,
so
well,
there was
just
like this
fast as
time
you can.
period where we didn't have access to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, you just got to be committed, and you got to
Well,
just
Dawson also doesn't have kids.
True.
So, and weaker bones.
yeah.
Well, I mean, he did break himself, so, but it's okay. That's crazy. So, any races? You like to race. Is there any races coming up that you have planned out for you?
Yeah, so I'm probably going to do the fall mountain bike series in Florida.
Yeah.
Probably not every single race, which is interesting because COVID has kind of changed it. For those of you from Florida that follow the racing, there's only 3 venues that right now are on the schedule, which is Jacksonville, Hales Trails, which is like literally like 6 minutes that way, and then
Yeah.
Lakeland,
Jacksonville's his Hannah
Carter Road.
Park.
Yeah, which
That's the one I was not able to complete at that
yeah,
time.
I don't like that trail.
It wasn't. It was exciting. It was my first one, but I was sick and not out of shape, and it was really hot. That's the thing I
Yeah,
wasn't
so
used to.
yeah, that runs in like 3 or 4 weeks, and I'll do it unless we've gotten a lot of rain because I think like parts of that trail go underwater if they've gotten a lot of rain, and I'm not
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah, it does flood. Let's see. Michael Glidwell is asking, okay, so why don't you have a power meter on any of your mountain bikes, especially your cross country mountain bike?
That's a good question. Hey, Michael. So power meters for me are for training and like trying to keep within a certain zone. And when you're mountain biking, like you just can't, like when you're on a true cross country or whatever kind of trail, you just can't stare at your computer and watch your zone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great for like looking back at your ride and kind of seeing what your power was in certain sections.
Yeah.
I just haven't gotten into that. So I use it for like in the moment training, not really for going back and looking at my data.
Yeah.
I probably will. In fact, I had a company reach out to me. I get emails all the time of people who want to send me stuff.
Yeah.
And like half of it's like cheap Chinese stuff that's not very good.
Yep,
And so
yep.
I just
I get that
turn
too.
it down. But I think it's like a Chinese company that's sending me a decent power meter that I'll put on a mountain bike, and
Yeah.
I'll see how I like it. And maybe if I like it, I'll get a stage. Stages is like my go-to for power meters. They're just so simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, I may try it coming up pretty soon. But I to this day, I just haven't had a power meter on a mountain bike.
That's awesome. Now, do you guys got any enduros you're gonna be doing?
So COVID kind of changed our whole plans. I remember I put a video out in the spring saying
Yeah.
that Dawson and I were going to get into enduro racing.
Yeah, I
and
remember that. Yeah.
COVID just canceled all of them. Dawson and I, so we're kind of going through this thing right now of what type of riding Dawson like really wants to focus on.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not saying too much, but Dawson loves slope style. Like that's like,
You had mentioned that, I think. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So enduro is probably going to be something that we do not to be ultra competitive. We're both kind of at this risk reward kind of thing. And to be like really good at enduro, like you got to like pin it on the edge, and go like, Yeah, Dawson and I have concluded that slopestyle is actually less dangerous than enduro because, like, they're on kind of more
It's smoother.
room. Yeah, smoother landing, smoother
Yeah, yeah.
courses. And you can like kind of almost plan your fall better in slope style. So if you know you're going to fall, you have time to react. Not that I do slope style, but this is what Dawson has told me. So he can kind of eye the landing and stuff like that. But enduro, like you catch a pedal or hit a root wrong or rock wrong, and there's so many variables. But I still want to do enduro. Like, it just, the concept of riding to the top and pinning it on the way down, just so fun. I mean, I listen, if I lived in the mountains, like, I would probably be really focusing on enduro
Yeah.
because my favorite type of riding is just to, go up to the mountains, pedal to the top and just pin it on the way down as fast as, within my limits. I mean, my limits are different than other people's, but I can hold my own on the downhill. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the concept of enduro just really looks cool.
That's I enjoy it. You should think about coming. Have you heard the Bigfoot enduro?
I think I've heard of it. Remind me where it's at.
It's Stanley Gap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh,
end of this month.
really?
I will be there. I'm
Okay.
gonna. I don't plan on placing or anything. Just like to have fun and ride new places, and I like to race. So,
That's awesome. I'll be riding Stanley Gap in about 10 days from now.
oh, there you go. You can give me some pointers.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any more questions, guys? Bring on some more questions for Clint. Also, real quickly, everybody, I have Clint's YouTube channel down in the description below. Make sure you go check him out and help support him. If you don't know him, subscribe to him. Let's see. Michael's asking, so is Dawson going to compete in cross country then?
I'll let him answer that. Are you going to compete in cross country? You want to get on and answer that question? Come on, dude.
Okay.
I want to hear the answer, actually.
Well, so did you post the video on the bike?
No, I've just when you got your
Yeah.
cross country bike. That's it.
So I did. I do have a cross country bike now. I don't hate cross country. I actually really enjoy liking it. I just always experienced it from a very heavy bike. So it's not like I had the optimal bike. So, but I still enjoy it. Just kind of how the riding is. It's different. It does teach you a lot of skills with cornering, and
Yeah.
you go just below the threshold of slipping out because the corner, a lot of the corners like in Florida are very sandy, dry, pine straws everywhere.
Uh-huh.
But maybe I'll do a couple races, more just for fun and riding with Dad. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a little bug and have a spurt of cross country racing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Maybe if I start flying past this guy,
Yeah.
which I
Flying past
probably
him.
will.
Yeah. Listen, Dawson has a motor when it comes to cross country.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that, but I've seen him get on his enduro bike and like almost drop me. Like when he's got like really good fast twitch muscles. When he was about 12, he used to race cyclocross, and when he sprinted, like I almost couldn't catch him. Like he's got really good fast twitch. So, I mean, if he wanted to, he could be really good at cross country.
That's...
Correction, I did beat you at sprinting.
Yeah.
Dad doesn't want to admit it. That's hilarious. What bike did you get?
It is a Niner Air 9 RDO. It's a the 3-star build.
3-star.
3-star build with Shimano Dior XT drivetrain and brakes.
And a Fox fork.
In Fox fork, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that 100 millimeter?
Yep. Yeah, 100 mil travel.
It's about it's super light. It's like 22 pounds.
That's nuts.
Very, very optimal for all around, cross country riding, whether it's racing or it's just having fun.
So you guys are big into bicycling. Is that pretty much your only hobbies you guys do?
Good question. So I've done a lot of sports growing up. My big ones were tennis, snow skiing, and scuba diving.
Oh, cool.
I was big into cave diving
Oh,
back in
really?
the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's another tech sport that I was just sucked into
Yep.
out of
Expensive.
curiosity. And yeah, for many people don't know that North Central Florida is the cave diving capital of the United States.
Really?
Um,
See,
within
I have my
within
diving license certifications, my advanced one also, and
yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. So the High Springs area, like kind of west of High Springs, there's just massive number of caves. I mean, there's caves all over Florida, but that's where the concentration is.
Yeah.
The It's people come from all over the world to dive these caves.
That's
So
awesome.
I pretty much sold all of my scuba gear a while ago to get into back into cycling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a time suck. Like it's
Yeah, it
just
is.
oh gosh, like it would take all day to go out and do a dive.
Yep. Exactly. What about
Worse than
Dawson?
golf.
What else do you like to do, Dawson?
Um, I so um, let's see. I like to do a lot of things. So obviously biking. I actually am a percussionist.
Oh,
My
cool.
drum kit's right over there, actually.
I'll show you his drum set with my webcam. Can you see his drum set?
I see it. You can play something for us if you want to. I've had people play music.
Oh
You
yeah.
can
Maybe I'll play some outro music.
some outro music. That'd be fine. We'll do some outro music.
But yeah, I do that. I kind of been
Was
doing
that a
that.
clear? Was that a clear set?
It was Chrome.
It's
It was
Chrome.
Chrome
Oh,
wrap.
okay. It
Yeah.
looked like it was see through.
So
That's 90s. You don't know nothing
yeah,
about that.
it's really nice. So
Jinko jeans, bro.
His favorite style of drumming is jazz, like vintage jazz.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, yeah, you'll have to play some smooth jazz
There you
outro
go.
music for us. So, speaking on the XC biking dropper seat, Jerome is asking dropper posts on your XC bikes.
I'm actually all for it. I don't have one right now, but the Spur is the closest thing I've had to a cross country bike with a dropper post.
Yeah.
And once you have a dropper post, like you just use it all the time. So, like in Florida, I'll use it if I'm coming hot into a corner, just to get the center of gravity low. Um, One thing I've never mentioned this on a video. One thing that dropper posts do that if you use them all the time, like if you use them in a race,
Yeah.
it kind of wears out your legs a little bit. Like you're
Yeah,
kind of
because you just stand up and squat
well,
down.
you're squatting down to get your center of gravity low. And
Uh-huh.
I've noticed on the Spur when I'm using it constantly, like my legs get really tired. So learning how to corner on a cross country bike without it honestly would save your legs a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's still fun. In Florida, you don't need it. Even the more technical trails like Alafaya, racing those,
Yeah.
there's not many sections where you would really need it. But if you follow cross country racing, some of the courses are really rough, like in Europe, and so I would totally have one. What would be cool is to kind of get like a wireless one, a cableless one,
Yeah.
and just kind of swap it out for rougher courses. That would be like ideal. Um, yeah, Hales Trails. There's some places you could use it. Um,
So, how many bikes you guys got in your garage now? I mean, you guys are
oh my
big
gosh.
cyclists.
Whew.
Really?
So currently, Dawson and I both have BMX bikes.
Okay.
Dawson has an enduro bike and then his cross country bike
Turn jumper.
and a dirt jumper. So he's got four,
And I'm saving up for it.
and he wants to get a trials bike. That's next coming on my channel. Probably next year is Dawson doing trials. He loves doing trials.
That's so awesome.
And so my bike fleet is currently, other than my BMX bike, which I don't really count, is and I have my Hutch BMX bike from back in the day, which I don't ride anymore. I'm just saving it. Like I can't get rid of that thing. That was my first real bike. So I have my cross country bike. Normally have one trail bike, but I have two now until I sell one of them. My enduro bike and then my gravel bike. And so what's that? 5, and then I my BMX bike, 2 BMX bikes.
I guess that's a good number.
Yeah.
N+1, but that's insane. So I've been meaning to ask, and I keep forgetting to ask it. You were building. I don't recall if I've seen a video, but you've been building a jump trail in your backyard. is
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you posted anything about that? I don't remember.
Yeah, so I did a video of Dawson hitting the jump for the first time.
Okay.
I did one when we were building it, and then the first trick, when Dawson learned a 360, and I have a video. I think it's called like Dawson does a 360 or learns a 360.
Crashes happen.
Yeah. Oh, crashes happen. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was kind of a documentary of his 2 days of learning a 360 on his jump. It's a big jump. Like it's kind of bigger than it looks in the video. So what we want to do is progress the jump track and start to build more stuff. Dawson has a big vision for it.
Yeah.
What I want to do, I haven't even mentioned this. What I want to do is I want to build kind of a ramp going up to the back of the roll-in. So the roll-in's 13 feet high, and kind of do like this climb up to it, so you can just climb it and then just drop in. So we got some vision for it. You want to answer?
Sure. Yeah, I can tell you what I've been. So the platform is 13 feet tall, as you said, and then right now it's just a roll in, jump, and then a mulch landing. It's actually kind of skinny, but as I continue earning more money and saving up, I'll probably expand and make the jump wider.
Yeah.
And then after that, it'd be cool to build some more features into the jump. Specifically, one feature, if you may have seen it on like slopestyle course, it's called a cannon log, where it's instead of having a radius, it's a straight jump sticking out of the ground.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. And then maybe in the future, a drop off the roll-in, so like extending the platform to the side.
Yeah.
So to eventually have like all the features that are on a slopestyle course in our backyard, so I can train without having to travel.
Yeah, I was going to ask how you want to do this slopestyle stuff. How do you train for that? I mean, there's only so much we can do here, and there's only so much elevation we have here. How are you training for that?
Well, it's most of it is half of it is digging and building.
Yeah.
And saving money.
Yeah.
So that's actually half of it, and the other half is really hard work. There's no indoor skate parks with foam pits near us.
Mm-hmm.
There's no jump parks you see, and maybe in Europe they have quite a few of those public jump parks.
Yeah.
So it's really just hard work, and I think that actually will give me an advantage in the future, knowing how to focus and point my energy in that direction.
Yeah, the mulch landing was a good idea. Like he told me about it, and I was like, I'd never heard of doing a mulch landing, but watching him crash, learning his 360, I was like, okay, I get it now.
And that just makes it softer, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, big time. Yeah. Yeah. And Santos is an hour away from our house, and I mean, there's some pretty big jumps.
Steep.
And there's steep takeoffs, and then you've got some pretty big size drops at Santos, like 20 feet high or something like that. More than that.
They got D1, D2, D3, D4, and then you have the pro drop, which have you seen that one, the pro drop?
Yeah, I think they only open that up when there's an ambulance on site.
Oh, is that what
Seriously, I'm not kidding.
Well, the landing for it is just, I mean, it's 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And and the advantage that, I mean, I like doing those drops. And when I was saying earlier, the only advantage of having a drop in our backyard is being able to have, the mulch on top of it.
Yeah.
And then that's actually really good to have the Santos drops there. Is after I would train here, I'd go there and do it, because that is lime rock and clay.
Yeah.
You
And
can't
that's
screw
not
up on that.
yeah, that's not friendly to skin bones.
That hurts.
Man, it's 10 o'clock.
It is 10 o'clock. So you know what time it is, Dawson? We'll close in here in a second, but I'd like to ask, do you have a closing line that you say for your videos?
Oh gosh, what do I say at the end of my videos? I think I just say catching the next one, or thanks for watching. I always say thanks for watching.
What is, Dawson, when you form your channel, you have to think of it on the spur of the moment real quickly. What is going to be your closing line? It's got to be good. You can't. And you have to use it now. If you've said it on Jeremy's Pedal Power, it's marked in stone.
Keep digging.
Subscribe to me, not Clint Gibbs.
That's awesome. Okay, now Dawson, you have to close us out with some awesome drumming. Guys, I appreciate you so much for coming on to my podcast. I hope everybody had fun. I didn't get to everybody's questions, but
we need to do it again, man. That was fun.
This was a blast. I had a blast with this. It was great, and appreciate you two for coming on and allowing me to have you on here and just having fun with it. So Dawson, it's time, buddy.
All right.
All right, get some jazz music going.
Make it some smooth.
Ridiculous.
He had no idea he was gonna have to do this.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, thanks, Jeremy, man. That was fun.
No, it's great. I'm gonna hold off until he plays.
All right, he's got the mallets going. He made some homemade mallets. All right, go ahead, buddy.
I can hear bass playing in the background.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Dawson. Everybody, give a hand for Dawson. That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's so cool. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you, everybody. Like I say every single time, guys, make sure you lift up God, lift up life, lift up the adventure. Get out there and make your own adventures. Go check out Clint Gibbs' YouTube channel down in the description below. I will see you guys later. God bless.